Hey, how's it going everyone? Here with the brand new Son Goku's effect part set. Now this is, I guess, the first official effect part set. However, 2 years ago, must have been now, we did get the Harahachi Bunmei set, the eating set, which is more of a diorama set opposed to actual effects for one particular character. Since they're on, table seats and everything like that. I think that set was really cool. This one here, it came out in Japan yesterday. My initial thoughts, I was a bit not sure where I really fell on this effect release, so I decided to kind of sleep on it overnight to hopefully, let my thoughts sink in a little bit more. But yeah, so you've probably seen photos of this around already. They've done quite a few teasers. It's been at most of the showrooms and events on display. It's got the, the white, the air when he's punching through, like the blurred look. And then we do have 2 key blasts, but most importantly we have that wind swept here for the Saiyan Rays on Earth Goku body. The packaging itself looks very similar to any standard retail release. Does have a new quality seal sticker, and it does have a Dragon Ball Z logo on it because it is for that, Saiyan Rays on Earth release. On the back, nice section showcasing, the different effects, how they can be used. And I feel like it is important to refer to these images because not the most easiest effect to use or the parts to use at all. And that we touch on a little bit later in the video, and we have a display or image showcasing exactly what it does come with. But we've got it in hand, so we might as well pop it out of the box and actually get a closer look at every part that it does come with. So the packaging is in 2 parts. On the top we have the windswept here with this sort of teeth gritting look. We've got the 2 key blasts, and then we have the big sweeping, or at least one of the big sweeping effects for a nice big kick. We have another one of the kind of more forceful kick effect parts, I guess you can call it. And then we've got the more like kind of triangular sweep parts as well. Now on the back we have essentially the same parts, and then we have the clips. So these ring clips will pop into the corresponding slot on each of the swept parts, and then it will loop around the the wrist joint or the ankle of the figure that you want to use it on. There's basically 2 versions. On the left hand side there's one joint, and then we've got that one which has the double ball joint there, which will clip on, so you can, if you only want one effect, you can use one on the left or the one on the right. And then we've got one, I don't understand this, makes no sense, but one clip for the 2 key blasts makes no sense, so one is completely pointless. I don't understand, but I guess that'll be the main con for this release at the end. But we do have one, so you can use one of the 2 key blasts. Anyway, what we can do, we'll pop them out of this packaging, chuck the head on a Saiyan Rays on Earth Goku body, and we will take a look at the head, and then we can try and attach some of the effects and have a quick look at them all. Okay, so we've got the windswept here on Goku, and it looks really cool. I love the motion in the hair, even kind of tips down towards the back there, which is really cool. The teeth gritting look is nice, and the exaggerated look on the eyes, it definitely looks like he's ready for battle, mid punch, mid kick, or kind of doing that starting pose where he's matched up with Vegeta on the rocks. So really cool. I feel like this is the best part of the set. But I know there's been a few questions, at least on the images I posted on Insta, if we can use the original faceplates from the Saiyan Rays on Earth release. So I'll pop one on now, and I'll show you. Now, the faceplates are 99.9% the same. Again, bad choice here. Now depending what you want to do, it can kind of fit on, but you'll notice on the side here there's a massive gap, and that is because the pegs are such a different size. So if you get pick up a re-release of this figure to use with this head, you can probably chop and sand down the faceplates where needed to get them fitting perfectly, but out of the box they do not fit properly. I don't know. For such an anticipated release, everyone's been asking for effect sets. Just so much about this set just really falls flat so far. Anyway, moving over to the effect piece, it is pretty nice. It's pretty basic. It does have some good detailing, and on the both the front and back end we do have a white spot there, which is nice. So it's not straight plastic, which is good. But the one thing about the effect is that it has its own unique attachment mechanism. It's a tiny little bit kind of triangle shape part that the hook will then slot into, so you can't even use your normal stand. So you have to use the one and only attachment, despite there being two effects. So one, it's useless, I don't understand, can't even use it, so we might as well throw that away. So anyway, how to attach this on. This part just clips around the wrist of Goku. So you can skip this and slot it on behind the hand, and then it'll hold itself in place, which is really cool. So nice and easy to use, really cool, and versatile since you can use it with any character. You don't need a special hand with a peg attachment in it, which is really good. I just wish you could have him firing 2 at a time. I don't know, I just can't get over the fact that we have 2 effects but only 1 attachment. Anyway. So I've got the Gohan release here with the effect on as well. Actually just got the fist there. I don't have a flat hand for him at the moment. But as you can see, easily switchable with different characters, which is really cool. So moving over to the other effects, they're nice kind of translucent pearl white color, which is really nice. So we can take this, one of the attachment joints, we can pop that in with a ball socket, and once it's in like so, and then we can take the hand. That one won't fit over, so we pop the hand off Goku. So once you've got the hand off, you can slot it through like so, and then reattach the fist. Now it's nice that these are easy to use and versatile, though one thing you'll notice once we get the wrist on though is that everything is very loose. It's not really held on extremely well, so you kind of have to get them into the right pose and just kind of balance it there on them. Actually there is a smaller ring, so maybe we need to use it for this hand actually. So let me switch over to the smaller ring and see if it's actually better. Okay, so I switched over to the smallest ring you have, and it definitely fits on a lot better, though as you can see it still swings around, but it will kind of hold into place a little bit better. So you can kind of pose him up as if he's punching. Kind of quick pose. Yeah, as you can see, you know, it takes quite a bit of practice to kind of get them into the right spot, and they are a little bit hard to use, but if you kind of get the right ring, it's a lot better. But I would recommend probably getting some blue tack, sticking it underneath to keep it from moving around if you do want to kind of get in a bit more of a dynamic, kind of pose, but it might be a bit loose. But so far with the small string it's holding on okay, especially since these, the big spikes will kind of rest on the body. Okay, so I've got the leg attachment on, and to be honest I don't even know how you're meant to correctly use this. I've played around quite a bit, it's quite hard to get into a right position, so it looks good. It's kind of like he's kicking down, and I don't know, I feel like you have to be, I don't know actually, this is for that normal user, someone who's probably not the best at posing, kind of like me to be honest. It's not an easy to use effect set. I don't feel like it's going to give people instant gratification, nice enjoyment straight away. It's something that you need to be very creative with to be able to get the most out of it. But I mean, you can move it around on the peg. It just slots on over the boot, so you can slide it on and off easy enough. It just pops off like so. And you do obviously have the one going in the other direction, so you can mix and match, and maybe switching it around and trying to get in the right angle. It will make a big difference in how it looks, and will depend on which angle you're looking at it from, if it will look good or not. Now, well, these big circle swifty ones I feel extremely hard to use. This one here is a bit easier. It's for 2 effects with a double ring attachment. Again, just slots on over the leg, a lot more looser, but you can kind of angle it around, depending on how you want to do it. Maybe like so, have them up and kicking, and it's like a full wind sweep is coming through, or super fast kick, so it's subtly blurry. So this one here is a bit easier to use. Again, pretty loose. Yeah, I think you probably know where I'm going with my pros and cons at the end of this video, but you know, at least this one here I feel is definitely a bit easier to use, a bit more user friendly overall. We also have the double attachment for the punching windswept effect as well. You can use it obviously with a single attachment or a double like so. Again, this one here is pretty cool. I feel like the smaller effects are definitely a lot easier to use, and like when you double them up it's pretty cool. You know, you can get some nice layering effects going in there. Obviously with a bit more of a dynamic pose on Goku it'll look a bit better. But you know, I think this here definitely shows at least the use case for this effect. And overall I think this one here is actually pretty cool, especially with a nice pearlescent colour. Okay, so we've got the effects up on the turntable here, and Goku with the windswept here and that one ki blast shooting out, which looks really badass. Vegeta with the punching effect, which looks pretty cool. And I think one that's most impressive is the double small windswept kick effect that is on Naruto there. Or one that can be used with punching as well, actually, due to the size of punch or kick. But I feel like with the Kid Naruto figure it looks really good. Probably my favourite one out of all of the test runs that I've done so far. Then we have the bigger swept one on the bottom, and then a giant leg swept kick effect as well. I'll just put off to the side for now. So jumping into the pros and cons now. Effect set, huge pro. Everyone's been asking for effects sets, and windswept here, which we have on Goku, which is great. The ki blast is cool. The concept of the swooshing type of punching and kicking effects is cool. I feel like the smaller ones are a lot easier to use and do look better. The big one I think was a cool idea. I don't really feel like it's user friendly, and that is my big con there. I feel like these ones are very hard to use. If you kind of get in the right position, pose, it looks really cool. Otherwise it just looks very, very weird. So yeah, my big con, we get 2 ki blasts but 1 attachment, making this one utterly useless. The big one's hard to use. The way they attach onto a character, I love how it is universal. That's really good. And we do have a nice selection of small and large ones with the double attachment or single attachment. So we have nice variety for attachments besides the key one, which is great. But yeah, I mean, I've got a couple of other effects here. So this is the blast, one of the explosion ones. I feel like this is really high quality effect, nice colouring, the plastic colour as well from the paint, from the orange, pink and the clear is really nice. Have a ki blast that came with Kid Krillin, again good sizing, a nice colour, weathering and universal attachment. And then we have Super Saiyan 4 Goku with that ki blast effect, which is really nice. Now, I feel like the ones that we got in the set, compared to these effects which came with figures, or these ones sold in an explosion set, different versions of that by the way, but the main point I want to highlight, I feel like the effects in the set are a bit cheap, and my initial thought is tacky. I don't really feel like it's a high quality set, or the effects are high quality. I feel like maybe 1 or 2 of these combined with something else would have been a lot nicer. The windswept here is fantastic, but I think what would have tied it together more for me was if he came with the power pole and the attachment hand for that, because that was originally only released in America at one of the conventions. I think if you purchase a figure you could then buy that. Hard to get, iconic, and it would have paired perfectly with the Saiyan Rays on Earth Goku. The ki blast is cool. Having 1 additional attachment would have been, I know, a very minimal expectation. And I don't know, I just feel like, I think everyone's after like ki blast or their facial expressions and versatility, but the fact that this face is made for the Saiyan Rays on Earth body, but you can't even use those face plates, again, it's a disappointment. There's so much for this I really want to like, but it just keeps falling flat in every simple way possible. Should have had 2 attachments. Faces should be switchable in my opinion, since it's for this body. that I think is a very minimum requirement. Definitely let me know in the comments below what you think. Now coming, I guess, to should you buy this effect set or not? For the head, yes. I wouldn't pay retail unless you really want these other effects. But yeah, I really want to like it and say that it's fantastic. You should go and buy multiple sets of it, but one is enough, and your mileage may vary. It's not horrible, it's not good, it's just very average. So if you have high expectations, you will be disappointed. If you have very low expectations, you'll be fine. But I think for me, what you see on the turntable is what I will be using. The key blast, the hair, maybe the single punching effect, and then the swept ones. I'm probably going to pose now like this in the display. It looks really cool with those effects. So yeah, anyway, I might have been rambling a bit much in this video. I do apologize. I was really trying to pinpoint the key points to highlight and not to be too depressing in my opinion on it, but there's just a lot of things there which I just can't comprehend. But yeah, please do drop comments below. Let me know what you think as well, if you have any disappointments with this or not. And in the future, if we get another set, what would you actually like to see? What is your expectation for a effect set from Time Machine Nations? But yeah, anyway, again, thank you very much for watching, and until next time, cheers!